ESPN's presentation of the NIT is brought to you by Chase. At Chase, the right relationship is everything.
In the neighborhood of about 10,000 expected on hand for the semifinals of the Chase NIT. Joel Myers along with Dick Vitale. And the first five. And we talked about the depth of these two teams. The first five, though, starting the contest for the Blue Devils of Duke. Wojciechowski off to a sensational start. 14 assists, only one turnover over the first two regular season games. Go back to the exhibitions, and he is 28-1 right now. Assist to turnover ratio.
That's an impressive number, no doubt. But really what he's doing brilliantly for Duke, something they really want on their point guards. He's disrupting the offensive rhythm of the other clubs, putting a lot of pressure on the basketball like Bob Hurley did and Tommy Abaca did when they played point guard.
And Michael Ruffin, double digits in rebounding at home with a big win over Oklahoma State. Has to stay on the glass.
I'll tell you, he was a diamond last year, a diaper dandy. A lot of people didn't know about him, and he had 21 points and 16 rebounds against Louisville in the NCAA tournament. Now, that's a big-time performer. He's from a great high school, Cherry Creek High School in Englewood, Colorado. My sister's daughter went there, and I could flat out tell you, it's one of the great schools in America, academically and athletically.
So Newton jumps with Ruffin, and the ball is going to be saved by Wojo. So Duke starts with it.
How good is Duke? Jeff Capel, their leading scorer, will be coming off the bench. That tells you a little bit how they've changed as a club.
Price barging his way in, and the follow by Price after his own miss. McLeod could have had it as well. And a travel right away. The early pressure from Wojo.
Price really had a problem with his finger on his index hand. Missed about 3 weeks of action. He came on strong last year, Joel, as a South. Averaged 14 points a game. And looks like he has picked it up this year.
Southern California, out of Carson Sarah High School. Price got his man in the air, seals. And Ruffin stays at home on the defensive boards.
One of the strengths for Tulsa is their rebounding ability. With Ruffin and Seals, an outstanding rebounder for a wing player.
Steve Robinson, head coach from Tulsa, not timid about going to his bench 2-3 minutes into the game. He'll run him in. It looked like Carolina Blue at times.
Learned how to win big time working with Roy Williams for 7 years at Kansas. In fact, he's been here twice in the NIT preseason with Kansas when he did exceptionally well winning this tournament.
Johnny Gendron and Ruffin giving him another opportunity at the offensive end.
That's their strength, rebounding, getting the ball off the glass. Gendron, and usually an outstanding shooter, shot well from three-point range last year.
Ruffin gets a solid post position. Partially blocked and fouled by McLeod. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
Excellent execution, getting the two-man game, getting Ruffin down in that low block inside. He had 9 games last year where he scored double figures, and he had 9 games where he had double numbers in rebounding. There's Ruffin down inside. A lot of people didn't know about him. He's one of those kids, didn't have the big reputation, but came in and became an instant star at Tulsa. The Golden Hurricane. Not Hurricanes, Hurricane.
He's got a solid reputation among his teachers and his classmates. He's a great student with 3.6 GPA in chemical engineering.
Wow, I can't spell chemical. If you spotted me Chem-I-C-A, I couldn't spell it. I'm like Phelps. I know he can't spell Phelps.
He gets 1 of 2 and chases it down. Will he save it? It'll go to Ricky Price. Great hustle, though, by Ruffin. McLeod.
What makes Duke special this year, they can rotate 10 players, really, and not lose anything from that bench.
Newton asking for it. Posting up against Maldonado. And Greg Newton, 0 for 1.
Tulsa needs some special performance inside out of Maldonado to neutralize guys like Newton and Domzalski. Maldonado started off really well against Oklahoma State, scoring the first 7 points of the game.
Gendron already tried 1-3. The penetration by Thompson and the quick release and the first lead of the game for Tulsa.
He's their point guard. They're not going to be intimidated. You go down to UCLA and beat UCLA at Pauley Pavilion with 5 starters returning. You know you can play. Man-to-man defense.
Langdon blocked by Gendron.
Gendron says, no, Trajan, you're not getting the three-pointer off me tonight, baby. Trajan really can shoot the basketball. Scouting reports on him, or don't allow him to square up and get a good look at the goal. See, Gendron's not going to let him get a good look fighting over that screen. Away from the ball, number 12. Nice pass by Wojo.
The follow-away. Newton again. A little strong. And Ruffin already with his third. Is that his third? Yes, third. Making fourth rebound for Ruffin.
Very strong physically. Gets good position as well. Seals is the guy that got to get the ball. They got to get him started. There he is with the basketball. Played for the U.S. select team.
Short on the bank. Well short.
Yeah, he pulled up on that shot. Knocked down 4 threes against the Dream Team last year in the summer.
Price has it slapped away by Thompson from behind. And the ball will belong to Tulsa.
In fact, Seals really impressed all the Dream Team players. Charles the Roundmount, Barkley, he loved them. He loved Brevin Knight as well.
After that experience, though, with the 22 and under squad that almost upset the Dream Team, losing 96-90, he went into the weight room very close to the start of the season, a little tightly wound. Many feel that is the reason he's 13 of his first 39 over the first 2.
3 for 22 from three-point range. He's a much better shooter than that. 3-second call.
Going to get a foul, I believe, away from the ball. Yes, Maldonado, his first.
Yeah, laying the screen, didn't get the 3-second call. Duke was 18-13 last year, as you said earlier. Lost in the first round to Eastern Michigan. They were 8-8 in the conference.
Mike Krzyzewski, what a phenomenal job.
Well, just great seeing him back last year. And now there's that spark in his eye. Had the phenomenal recruiting class that they signed early. The best class in the United States with Chris Burgess and Shane Battier.
Coley in. Just off the bench. Beaten to the baseline by Price, who couldn't finish. Langdon. The good look to Newton. And the rejection by Ruffin. The save by Thompson.
I'll tell you, Ruffin played a great game early on the glass. Closing the lane off. As Maldonado was the reverse man. Nice fake. Good fake inside.
Went off the hip of McLeod, and we're going to get a foul now. The second on McLeod. That is definitely a factor. Rashawn McLeod, the junior from Jersey City, New Jersey. The transfer from St. John's. It meant so much for him to come here.
Ruffin right now, watch the timing. Keeps his feet down, doesn't go up. Now here comes the rotation. A good rotation by number 51. Excellent timing. There's the block. You know, you mentioned McLeod getting that foul. He was so excited about playing here at the Garden. We were talking to him today on the elevator. He was going to call his mom up, played at St. Anthony's for one of the great high school coaches in America, Bob Hurley, who had the team last year that went 31-0, St. Anthony's. Went to St. John's and never really became the player that he thought he'd become, and was unhappy. Told us today, you and I, how much he loves it down at Duke and has really impressed them with his scoring ability.
Tough not to like it down there with that kind of atmosphere.
Well, it's one of the great schools in America. When you talk academics, athletics, put the whole package together, Duke is one of those unique experiences in the nation.
Maldonado missed the first, got the second. Duke only 1 of 8 from the field thus far as Zach Bennett comes in for Tulsa. Shea Seals back in as well. And the substitutions. Carmen Wallace, the senior from Wilmington, Delaware, in. McLeod sitting down, also in. Domzalski, David Domzalski.
Good inside player, a sophomore. Really has worked hard on the interior. Gets good position down inside. He can be a factor. Very active. Wallace, good defensive player, good leader.
Seals made Langdon alter that one. Seals last touch by Price.
Steve Robinson told me, he said, a lot of people don't realize what a tough defender Shields is.
Sluggish beginning offensively for both sides, as we'll be right back to the Garden.
We helped David Nolan with a pre-approved mortgage, which gave him the bargaining power to buy his family a bigger house with a lower bid. Chase Mortgage Pre-Approvals. They make every one of our 23 different mortgages even more valuable. Another way you're worth more at our bank. Chase, because the right relationship is everything.
When plumbers hit the road, they carry more than a truckload of faucets and pipes. They carry knowledge about products, like why the finishes and solid brass construction of Delta faucets are right for you. They carry knowledge about styles and knowledge about procedures and codes that tell you they're as committed to perfection as we at Delta are. In fact, there's only one thing as dependable as Delta faucets, and that's the plumber who installs them. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
It's back, the Goodyear Buy 3, Get 1 free sale. Right now, buy 3 selected Goodyear tires at regular price. And the 4th tire is free. So call 1-800-GOODYEAR today and get on the line with your local retailer.
If you got a beard, we've got your number. The adjustable Maverick beard and mustache trimmer with 6 different settings. Man, does this do a number on beards. Maverick from Norelco.
When I took the job here as head coach, that was some of my goals, to try to get us as much exposure as possible and with the opportunities to play in big games like this. And I think our fans like it, our kids like it, and I enjoy it to the utmost.
And it doesn't hurt recruiting either. Steve Robinson alluding to the fact that get the kids here, what it means to come to the Garden in the preseason NIT. They were 22-8 last year. Steve Robinson's first season at Tulsa after 7 seasons as an assistant for Roy Williams, and barely got beat out by Louisville in the first round of the tournament, losing by 2.
Lost in overtime in that game against Louisville. Ruffin had the great game, 21-16, 21 points, 16 rebounds. Robinson's done an outstanding job following up from Tubby Smith, who took him to 2 consecutive Sweet 16s. As we see the turnover.
3rd and 1. Coley got down to the baseline, threw it away. And now the coach's son, Adrian Crawford, coming in.
Robinson worked for Roy Williams for 7 years out of Kansas, where he has put together one of the magical programs in America. Man-to-man defense, nothing fancy, straight, tough, hard-nosed, man-to-man by Tulsa.
Duke, 1 of 9 from the field. A quick reversal and almost thrown away as Cable out of the timeout. Leading score from last season with 16 a game onto the floor for the first time. Domzalski has it taken away, and Seals comes up with a steal.
Did a great job of doubling up on the interior, giving some help.
Great look over to Coley. The block from Domzalski. And Duke's Carmen Wallace comes down.
Duke trying to utilize that full court, trying to get the ball up the court quickly, transition.
Foul on the floor, the penetration move. Mike Chappelle, great-looking freshman, on the floor for the first time tonight.
They like Chappelle's athletic ability. He comes out of Southfield, went to Lathrop High School. They're getting another great player from Michigan next year, Shane Battier. Tremendous student as well, better than a 3.9 student out of Detroit Country Day. The same high schooler produced Chris Webber.
First foul on Coley. 2-point lead still for Tulsa. Trying to put it back up and into the same motion was Wallace after the miss by Chappelle. And Seals in the transition. Around Cable, but couldn't hang on to it. Lost it right off his hip.
He's really struggling offensively. He's trying to make plays that aren't there right now. Almost went to Seton Hall, he told me. He came very close to selecting the Pirates, who were blown out in a first round by alma mater by Iona in this tournament. I think some people on the committee would have liked to see Seton Hall here to draw some fans, and also the UCLA Bruins. But Tulsa said no UCLA.
Cable's short. Duke now 1 of 11. And Wallace gets it to
what a play. What a great effort right there by Wallace. They say he's really worked hard in practice to earn some PT, some playing time. I know Coach Krzyzewski's got to like that play by Wallace. A good second effort. Now watch him get up with the basketball. Now he keeps it up strong. Now look at that strength. Takes it up in traffic, converts it. Says count it, count that baby. Right from the deck he yells, count it. Look at this, Thanksgiving coming a little bit early for Wallace. Look at him, he's got a little to be thankful for right here. There he is right now, look at the stretch. He gets banged on the wrist, but still converts it. I mean, he's got strength like you do, Joel.
Don't get carried away, Dick, please. It's early. We've got 2 games. We've got 2 games tonight. Save yourself. Chappelle barging his way in as Gendron draws the charge. Now Coley just sat down with 2 fouls as Gendron came back into the game to accept that charge from Chappelle.
Good
Coley
job.
was a real factor in the first 2 games of the season. Not so far tonight.
Excellent job right there defensively, rotating over. Coley had 11 rebounds, as you said, played well against UCLA. They also blew out Oklahoma State. Beat them by 18.
It wasn't a game in the second half, Gendron.
Gendron played baseball 3 years with the Pirates. Then had an elbow injury as a pitcher. Decided to concentrate basketball. Now he can shoot the shot.
The 23-year-old nails the three-pointer.
He can nail the three-pointer. He's got excellent range as a shooter. In fact, last year he made 14 out of 30 three-point shots and only played 9 minutes a game.
Went to Bishop Kelly High School in Tulsa. 3-point lead for the Golden Hurricane, their largest.
Duke getting some motion offensively, screening away, a little isolation.
Wallace got caught up in the air. Good helps weak side defense.
They really do a good job defensively, Tulsa. They give a lot of help. They step in the lanes, close off private angles.
Ruffin manages to keep it alive at the offensive end.
Seals, a guy that you can invert. You can play him on a perimeter as well as in the baseline.
Gendron in the distance. Count it, and he's fouled.
Nice clear out right there for Gendron. They were really intense in their practices today. I mean, Steve Robinson really had them believing they can win, working on many facets of their game. There's the little clear out. There's Gendron taking it up strong. Played in the Gulf Coast League in baseball down in Florida in about 98-degree weather down there in Bradenton, Florida. Believe me, I used to go to some of those games. In fact, I saw Derek Jeter, the shortstop for the Yankees, make his debut in the minor leagues in the Gulf Coast League.
Take those buses to the Gulf Coast League. And this is the penthouse playing to the Garden.
This is the Mecca. This is New York City, the home of the New York Yankees.
Gendron completes the three-point play after the foul by Cable. And all of a sudden, Tulsa has a 6-point lead at 10-4, just about 7 minutes in.
You know, I mentioned the Yankees. I see so many Yankee hats around now. I wonder why. Where are the Mets hats?
No front runners here in New York.
So on sidelines, he's becoming a windshield wiper right there, dribbling the ball laterally. No dribble penetration to attack the defense.
Cable for 3 over Rod Thompson. Not even close. Gendron coming up with the rebound, taking it away from Ricky Price.
Well, Mike Krzyzewski told me he was really concerned today because of the defensive ability and the toughness of the Tulsa kids. But there's a charge right there by Gendron.
Gendron picking up that charge, his first foul.
They won the Missouri Valley Championship last year, beating Bradley in a final to earn the right to get into the tournament.
Chris Carrawell, a freshman, Cardinal Ritter High School in St. Louis, on the floor now.
Tim Higgins comes over to us here and gives a smile. I think he wants some airtime. He wants some airtime. Higgins looking for some PR to referee.
Higgins, one of the very best in the country. No doubt about that.
Oh, what, did he buy you something to eat? What, did he buy you something? He bought you dinner.
A lot of games with Higgins on the floor. 3-pointers there. Langdon comes through, the math major, with the tray.
He really's got that soft touch. It's like velvet. There's the high post screen up on top by Ruffin. We want to run into that screener. Good ball reversal, looking to try to dump it down.
Go to the weak side to Ruffin, and he's fouled with a smaller Price.
I love to see kids that don't come in with the great reputations like Ruffin and ultimately become stars. Kids like Seals, you don't hear a lot about them. They're not spoiled. They're not spoiled by the whole system where people are chasing them from the time they're 12, 13, and 14. These kids have earned the right to be stars. The best one of all time, I think, is David Robinson. When he went to the Naval Academy, no one really wanted David. And he ultimately became the Naismith winner as Player of the Year. I'll never forget speaking at that banquet, watching him there, how proud he was, the recipient of that trophy.
Ruffin, a force on the boards, missing the first of 2. Don't forget, you can see over 450 men's games you otherwise wouldn't see in your area. Only $69 for the season. All you have to do is call your cable operator or DirecTV.
I got a call right now. I want to call Joe. Only 400 games. I got to see more than that. Come on, now. I got to have more games than that. DirecTV. Only 400.
You don't sleep, do you, Dick?
Wow. I love it.
I love it. Second miss by Ruffin. Missed both the line. Seals leaning. Will they get the roll? Yes. Shea Seals.
Shea Seals hanging in the air. But that was a forced shot right there. But he deserves one. When you're shooting as poorly as he is, you deserve some of those to fall in. He's a great, great talent, though.
It's his first 2 of the night. He's been better on the penetration when he's inside the paint and outside the three-point arc.
Plays on a defensive end. That's what I like about him. He's not just a one-way player, Seals. He plays on both sides of the floor.
Langdon got Thompson out of position.
Oh, nice fake. Nice fake.
Fortunately, Thompson okay. Good head and shoulder play by Langdon.
Ooh, Rod left something on the floor. He left something on the floor. You know what he left on the floor, Joe? Watch this head fake right now. Watch this. No, you can't leave your feet, Rod. You can't leave your feet. Can't leave your feet on that fake. TL, Trajan Langdon. He's going to have a big year this year. Had that knee surgery to his left knee. It really started with an ankle injury to his right ankle, and he started to favor the left knee after he played on an all-star team in the summer, and ultimately it created a stress fracture or a stress problem within the knee that needed surgery last March.
Great all-around athlete. Just talking about Johnny Gendron.
Baseball.
Yes, who left the Pirate system. Well, 6th-round pick of the Padres back in '94. He's played 2 of the last 3 years at their A-level.
Saw the curveball. I think he saw the curveball. He says, you know what? I like the size of that basket a lot better than that curveball.
Langdon gets 1 of 2. Coach K's squad, though, down by 4.
Tennis fans championship. We have a wonderful 75 Lacouille Cabernet, or an exquisite 58 Le Brousse-Mignon, or a 62 Je vous Pinot if you're in the mood for...
No. enough of that old stuff. The lady and I would prefer something fresh. How about something in a lager? What do you got in a Budweiser from, say, early this month?
Budweiser. Guaranteed fresh with born-on dates.
Before you take another Tylenol, you should know what these clinical studies prove. On tough headache pain, Advil works better than extra-strength Tylenol. On day after muscle pain, again, Advil works better than Tylenol. Even on pain following dental surgery, Advil works better. Clinical after clinical shows on tough pain, 2 Advil work better than any 2 extra-strength Tylenol. Over 30 million people trust Advil to safely relieve pain. Ask your doctor. Advil just works better.
Would a man attack the peak of K2 if a remarkably soft pair of pants were placed there? Would a man tread the lip of a volcano for pants that were pure cotton yet wrinkle-free? Would a man brave the trackless Sahara for pants that were suitable for work and play? A man would if he were a fool, because he could go to the store and say, yes, I'd like to try on the ultimate pant, new by Hager. Besides, your wife won't let you go to the Sahara anyway.
8.5 minutes into the game, Tulsa shocking Duke so far, leading by 4. What a night we have. Thanksgiving Eve, a great night of college basketball. Hoosier Heaven, just a little bit later, second game of our semifinals of the Chase NIT. Evansville facing number 20 Indiana. And what a wrap-up for the evening. The Maui Invitational Championship game. Jeff against Roy, Virginia, taking on Kansas. That's a dynamite one.
That Virginia backcourt really playing well right now. They really put the hurt to UMass's great backcourt of Travieso and Padilla. Talking about Harold Dean, it looks like he's back strong with Staples. And you got to like Courtney Alexander, who's from out of Durham. An outstanding scorer. Kansas got the great size inside, but obviously, you know, they're missing Jock Vaughn. So they'll be a different team when Vaughn gets in that lineup. But they're still tough right now with the kind of people they have. Very well coached.
Mismatch there. Great look to Bennett from Seals. Give him the assist. He had the mismatch and beat Newton down to the baseline.
Zach Bennett with that good diagonal cut inside. Good angle cut across the lane. Good look by Seals. Bennett made the free throw to beat. He missed his first free throw with the score tied in overtime and beat UCLA 77-76.
That was with 2 seconds left in overtime.
That had to break the heart of all the UCLA fans.
Wojo yet to put one up. He was stroking it nicely this afternoon during the shoot-around. Newton doesn't get it, but the foul is there.
Good offensive rebound. Excellent position right there.
Chris Carroll with the basket.
He's from out of St. Louis, as you said earlier. Played with Lauren Woods. Remember that name. He's now in the lineup for Wake Forest.
The air ball dig from Seals, still having his problem from three-point range. Carroll forcing his way in.
He's a tough kid physically, knows how to play, he's got good instincts for the game, and is a slashing, driving kind of player where Chappelle is a little bit more skilled. We're going to take right now, freeze it. Right here, we're going to look for the pass. He's going to make this cut across the lane, and they're going to see the little pass inside. There's the dump down, and look at Bennett, and there's the little reverse layup, kisses on a glass. Seals not scoring, but he's still playing defense, and he's still passing the rock.
Super look. Going across the paint. The assist for Jay Seals.
Now, you like that, huh? You like that.
Coach's son bringing it up. Adrian Crawford. He gave him dad some club earlier today.
They're really high on him. His dad coached at Akron, was the head coach at Akron University. Coleman Crawford, now an assistant here.
Don't think they want Maldonado putting the ball to the floor that far away.
No, they'd like him to take the ball right there and look to score. Maldonado's got to give him some presence on the inside. He's a fifth-year player.
6 turnovers now for Tulsa.
Oh, nice
cutter, Ricky Bryce. Saved by Seals. He was there with Ruffin. Inside of 10 minutes left. With a very slow start offensively as the ball goes right back to Duke again on another Tulsa turnover. Back-to-back trips. They have wasted chances in the offensive end.
Tulsa now makes their debut in the wacky whack. I mean, Fresno State doesn't play Utah. How wacky can that league be? They have 2 quality teams like that, and they don't play each other. I mean, that's a no-no. I got to call it the wacky whack.
In the 18 division they're in, they're picked to finish 3rd during the preseason polls behind New Mexico and Utah. A long one, not there for Langdon. Duke lost the handle.
Duke had excellent spacing there to get Langdon that good look at the goal. Thompson's a very steady, good role player. Understands his strengths and weaknesses at the point guard slot.
Dick Duke really lucky to be down by only 4. 4 of 19 from the floor now after that last miss.
getting the basketball really didn't come in a lost art, both in the NBA, college.
Maldonado, rough it, and finally a third tip by Seal.
I'll tell you, they get up on the glass. They got guys that attack the basket. They get into seams, gaps. You don't block them out. They're getting right on the glass. Really rebounding well early this year.
Little high-low action. And that's the way it's been going. Ricky Price with the air ball. 4 of 20 from the floor.
Oh, nobody got back. Nobody got back. Mike Krzyzewski's got to call a 20-second timeout. He's got to be upset about that. He's got to be upset about that. I mean, that's a lack of hustle. And that's not Duke basketball.
And now Tulsa has their biggest lead of the night. They're on top by 8.
We're going to watch. Nobody coming back. Look at this here. You got to get back. There's people down here. You got to hustle. You got to get to the goal. You got a defensive transition. Look how slow. Come on, Ricky. Get back, number 3. You got to get back, Ricky. There's the little fake. Defensive transition, so important in college basketball at any level. You got to be able to convert from the offensive end to the defensive end. You got to shut down the numbers.
Take a look at how the two teams got here. You see Evansville, Indiana coming up a little bit later. Evansville beating Iona. Indiana taking care of the Billikens of St. Louis. Duke beat Vandy by 29 points. Tulsa hammered Oklahoma State at home, winning by 18, but it really wasn't that close in the second half. They led by as many as 25.
Well, Jim Cruz's club, the coach of Evansville, wins by 3 over Iona, 44-41 in a defensive struggle.
Duke having big problems with the offensive end. Chappelle off the bench, off the timeout. Still, they can't find it from the outside.
They're getting those wing jump shots, not going down. Tulsa playing tough on the baseline.
Jamie Gillen in for the first time for Tulsa. Hit 3 3-pointers against UCLA in the overtime victory.
Yeah, he's got good range as a shooter, Gillen.
Takeaway by Wojo. Thompson tried to gather it back in and lost it.
They're excited about being in the new WAC conference. They're going to have some road trips where they got to go to New Mexico, certainly BYU. BYU yesterday, are you ready for this? Washington beat them by 50 points. Not 10, 20, 50.
Making 51. I think it was 95-44.
Wow.
Newton is rejected by Ruffin.
That's a second block shot by Ruffin in the lane. He's saying, thou shalt not enter thy lane. It's my lane, says the kid from Cherry Creek High School in Englewood, Colorado. Nobody knew about him. Remember the name, Ruffin.
8-point lead for the Golden Hurricanes. 7:49 left in the half.
It's a lot of fun. It's a rush. That's what aggressive sports are all about. I tried to do it like the exact same way I would do it on skates, and it worked. I used all my skating tricks, like my grabs when I jump. It could turn into a huge sport. You can sled dog in the winter and skate in the summer.
You've seen them in the stores. You've seen them on TV. Now, why not see if you can stick your feet in them as well?
If you know your shoe size, you know your sled dog size.
If you haven't tried a snow skating, you haven't got a snowball's a chance in hell of making it past your 40th birthday.
Call now for this free information pack that includes these free sled dog stickers. Call now, it's free. That's right, free. F-R-E-E, free.
NCAA basketball on ESPN2.
Tulsa taking care of business on the boards, and they lead it by 8 now with 7:49 left in the half. Don't forget a good one coming up on the Deuce tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 out on the West Coast. Bo Morgan and Air Force on the road, battling the WAC against Ted Tolmer's San Diego State Aztecs. One of the best running backs in the WAC, George Jones, ready to go for San Diego State. Solid matchup tomorrow night on the Deuce. Joel Myers along with Dick Vitale. And Dick, Those Dukies, as you call them, they can't get off tonight.
Well, take a look right there. 4 for 22. They don't have the Cameron Crazies cheering them on. I still said it's one of my favorite places to be. Tulsa 14-11 on the glass.
Capel gets it right back after throwing it into Newton, who gets the assist. 3-pointer for Capel. 5-point deficit.
Good look right there by Newton to get Capel the open shot. He can be very explosive. As you said earlier, led them in scoring last year, 16.6 a game, now coming off the bench. They shot so well in their first 2 games against St. Joe's and Vanderbilt.
Barnwell out of the timeout on the floor for the first time tonight for Tulsa. They play 11 regularly.
They go to their bench. They're not afraid. They scholarship you. They say you better be ready to play. We're going to utilize you. There's that passing game. Pass and go away. Create some motion.
Gillen kept alive. And Duke comes up with a loose ball to Newton after Cornwell went down.
Duke can be very explosive.
Chappelle trying to draw the foul. It'll be out of bounds off Ruffin. And wait a minute, they're saying it belongs to Duke. It looked like Ruffin was on his back when he touched the ball, lying down on the baseline. A break for Tulsa.
Wojciechowski kicks it out to Chappelle. There goes the diaper dandy. Now he's going to take the ball up to the goal. You're going to see right now. There the ball. What do you think? You're the referee. Come on now. You're the striped shirt.
Good angle.
Good angle.
Maldonado back out there now. Getting a bit of a break. Cornwell back on the bench. Seals the penetration. And that's the way it's gone for him. Flat off the heel. They'll go to the line, though, to shoot 2.
They like to attack with dribble penetration. They like to get into gaps and seams. They run that passing game really well. Get excellent spacing.
Second foul on Chappelle.
Really well coached. Really impressed with Tulsa. I know certainly a lot about Duke. Haven't seen Duke over the years, and obviously Mike Krzyzewski, one of the giants in coaching. But a guy like Steve Robinson really starting to make a little name for himself. Only his second year on the sideline, 22-8 last year with Tulsa. There's so much parity right now. Talking to Larry Donald, the editor of Basketball Times before the game, and Jim O'Connell as well from the Associated Press. And what makes college basketball so exciting? Navy beats Pitt yesterday. LIU beats St. John's. Iona blows out Seton Hall. Little trend, something being said right there about the Big East. But what really excites you is the mystery almost every day. I mean, Washington winning by 51 over BYU. Yes. Bob Bender, former Dookie, now coaching at Washington, doing an excellent job.
Gable gets away from Seals, got the pick on the baseline. Newton kept it alive, but it goes over to Ruffin. Another rebound for Ruffin, and he's got 6.
I'll tell you one thing, he's not a great jumper, but he gets excellent position. He really does. He utilizes his great strength in his body, holds position really well. They get those horizontal screens across the baseline.
Seals.
Oh, he's
it's gone. Ruffin's there, though.
There's Ruffin always in the right place. Very opportunistic. Come on, help me out with that word.
You're all over it. 3 points now for Ruffin.
Any syllable more than one, I have a problem. But he takes advantage of an opportunity.
The lead is back to 8. They're going to get Langdon off. Wojo's not looking for the shot when it's available.
Nice
pass. Newton is stunned, but fouled by Ruffin. Great look by McLeod.
I'll tell you what really impresses me is the rotation and the way the Tulsa kids really react to the open pass and the open man. We're going to watch the little dump down now to Newton, but look at the rotation. Look at Ruffin. He comes rotating over. I mean, they really do a great job attacking the basketball. Now Ruffin on the inside. Watch, not a great jumper, but just seems to have excellent positioning at all times. He's a position player, really good position player. We're going to watch them right now. Getting good position, the rebound. There's the inside position by Ruffin.
Newton hits the first of 2. He is 0 for the night. He's 0 for 6 from the floor. Ruffin sits down, leading on the rebounding edge.
11.6 rebounds early this year. Had some big games last year. Newton runs the court really well for a big player. Has a good touch inside and certainly gives him a lot of size.
Domzalski taking over now for Newton after the 2 free throws. Deficit back to 6 for Duke. Down to 5:45 left in the half.
I like the way Wojo gets down in a defensive stance. Doesn't have great speed, but works so hard defensively. Tries to get really excellent positioning by beating the guy to the basketball. Drive him, you beat him, and you turn him.
Bennett got away from Wallace. Got great help, though, from Wojo. Seals available.
Nice cut without the basketball. Another lost art in the college game. How to move without the ball. The most dangerous guy to defend is somebody that moves without the ball.
9 points now for Shea Seals.
He has 9 and he shot poorly. He's averaging 18.5 and he's 3 for 22 in his first 2 games from 3-point range. What happens if he gets on fire?
Maldonado coming up at the back, picking up that foul. Seals very tentative, though, but good movement without the ball.
Seals really does move well without the ball. We're going to watch Seals right now. He's going to really move well as we see him moving without the basketball. Here he is now. Freeze it. Okay, got inside position. Once you get this inside position and you trail the man to the goal, it's lost. It's a layup. And there's Seals. He says, I got inside position. I ran a middle cut. A middle cut is simply the ability of an offensive player to get inside the defensive player.
Let's not forget about the man who got it there, Zach Bennett. Domzalski, way short. Langdon will retrieve.
The danger for Duke is the fact they see the name Tulsa and they don't get excited like they would if they see the jersey North Carolina, Wake Forest. And Mike tried to tell him as Capel steps in the lane and makes that conversion. I mean, we got to play. This is a good basketball team. This team went on a road and beat UCLA.
Thompson tried to force, or at least Wojo tried to force the turnover from Thompson. Almost got it done. Now Ruffin with a good position. Looks for Bennett. It's off Bennett, out of bounds.
Nice defensive play right there by Duke. Rotating defensively. Coming over, giving some help.
9 turnovers, Dick, already, with 4:39 still left in the half. They're not taking care of the basketball at the offensive end.
Well, you're going to turn it over a little bit against the kind of defensive tenacity of Duke. Let's see if they get a conversion here. Trying to get a little one-on-one for Capel in the lane. Ooh, it was carried.
Colden right on top of him defensively. Good job by the freshman, Eric Colden. He's a cowboy from Rochester, New York, we might add.
Yeah, he's a cowboy. Loves to break horses, likes to rope them. We're going to call him Tex. Tex Coley.
Forcing the issue. And Ruffin has another rebound. That's 8 for Michael Ruffin.
Biggest complaint against Capel has been shot selection throughout his career. He's a kid that sometimes gets a little, I think, too maligned when you look at some of the positives that he brings to the table. Had that great freshman year, was an all-regional selection in the NCAA tournament when they went to the final game and lost that heartbreaker to the Razorbacks of Arkansas.
Wallace on the hold. Bennett to the line. Good bonus situation.
Just got a great younger brother named Jason Capel, a junior out of Prospect Hall, NRC, out in Maryland, plays for Stu Vetter.
Not so automatic he'll come to Duke, though, because his dad now, head coach with Monarchs of Old Dominion for his 3rd year.
Well, I mean, a lot of people after him. Jason certainly one of the real quality juniors in America.
Thompson getting a breather. Coley also taking a break. Genford, Crawford coming back in. And Zach Bennett goes to the line, the hero of the UCLA game, as we talked about it.
He missed his first shot against UCLA, but then converted that second. Look at the rebounding again.
And Ruffin,
look at this,
with Bennett
on the glass.
And Bennett will go back to the line. You know what Steve Robinson does with his bench, is creating a healthy situation. And Eddie Sutton may have put it best when he was talking about Steve Robinson. He told me, he comes from a good family tree. Roy grew up under Dean. Steve grew up under Roy. The system, the way he runs players in and out, called it Kansas, called it Carolina, other disciples, but they get a lot of people involved.
Well, the bottom line is you got to have people to get involved, and they do have some good people, and he's not afraid to go to his bench to give them some confidence. So in the event of an injury, you got people that do have some experience. For some coaches that believe in a 6- or 7-man rotation. As you look at the bench right here.
And the redshirt freshman from Union High School in Tulsa, Zach Bennett, coming through at the line with a couple free throws. The lead back to 8 now for the Golden Hurricane.
I think a Walmart MasterCard sounds fantastic.
Walmart has a credit card? Absolutely. We've done the Walmart card the Walmart way.
It's just a credit card with low interest. It's simple.
A fixed low interest rate is perfect.
And with the holidays coming, I could really use this card.
It's the Walmart card, but you can use it wherever they take MasterCard.
You can't always pay it off at the end of the month, so of course, low interest rate helps enormously.
We've always tried to save people money, and this is just one more way to do it.
Call now for your no annual fee Walmart MasterCard from Chase.
I'm so surprised that we didn't offer this card years ago. We should be ashamed of ourselves.
You can get lots of stuff, and you don't have to pay it tomorrow.
Now's the time to zero in on Christmas gifts at Sears Brand Central.
You can get a camcorder, a VCR.
Get 0% finance charge till March.
A TV, a refrigerator.
2 days only, Friday and Saturday.
I'm going today.
There's nothing to it.
You can leave your money in the wallet.
You can really save.
In the bank. Anywhere. In your sock.
This year, over 400,000 aluminum radiators will corrode and fail. But Prestone antifreeze bonds with aluminum, forming the Prestone zone of protection against corrosion. It's your car. Protect it in the Prestone zone. And now there's a new Prestone antifreeze with a new low-tox formula for an extra margin of safety around pets and wildlife.
new Prestone Low Tox. It's extra protection in the Prestone zone.
Don't forget to join us this coming Tuesday. Tim Duncan, number 3 Wake Forest, taking on Mississippi State at the United Center. It's the Grade 8, day 1 of the Grade 8. Second game, Purdue and Kentucky. What matchups, Dick? I know you are going to be there.
Oh, I can't wait to get to the Windy City for that. It'll be a special 2 days. There's the opening day matchup. Purdue, you better start talking about Purdue. Gene Katie, all he does is win 3 Big Ten titles in a row and doesn't get the kind of national recognition as many other coaches. And again, lost 6 seniors, but has really some outstanding young players.
Wallace swiped with the ball. Indecision. Langdon was free for 3 as well after they trapped Wojo out top. So indecision to the offensive end a couple of times.
Langdon was thinking about that 3 quickly. He's saying, please, somebody get me the ball.
8-point lead for Tulsa. That has been their largest. They've enjoyed it 3 times now.
See, there's Wojo putting pressure on the ball. Bob Hurley used to do a great job with that, and so did Tommy Amick. A backdoor cut.
Exceptional look by Crawford with the communication from Seals.
See, Crawford, good passer for a big freshman. Plays out on the perimeter, and Seals has that art of moving without the ball.
Zach Bennett takes it away on the lazy bounce entry from Langdon.
Did a great job defensively, post position inside.
Look out. The block. And did Duke ever need it? It's out of bounds. It will still belong to Ruffin, who was just stuffed. And Tulsa. Last trip, though.
The backdoor cut right here. He's going to set him up, take it here, and then he's going to cut behind the defender. And he's going to be looking for him. You watch the backdoor cut right there. Freeze it. Oh, he's got a beat. Look at the inside. Right here. He has got a beat. Price looking for some help, but the help's a little slow coming over. Once you get behind that defensive player, you got yourself inside for a little deuce.
Seals walked with the ball. He stumbled. He just dragged that pivot foot.
I like teaching right here. I like teaching. Let me get that telestrator, Joe. Come on now. I love doing this. I'm back home here.
I know you are ready to go back to coaching, too. 10-point lead now for Tulsa, their largest of the night.
I know a lot of guys out there wish I went back to coaching. That scheduled me immediately to prove what a fraud I am. I don't know the game.
You're too tough on yourself. Wojo is yet to put it up. Newton the fall away. He is really struggling from the field.
Gets that inside position, but Tulsa playing tough inside. Oh, loose ball. Wojo on a ball. He better not hesitate.
Wojo.
Oh, he hesitated.
It'll be offensive interference on Bennett. Wojo after the stumble and the fall by Crawford.
I love guards that can put pressure on a basketball. They disrupt people. They really take people out of their offensive system. He hesitates a little bit right here. Nonchalants it. Gets the goaltending call, but he almost lost himself a layup. So trying to beat him to a spot. DBT. It's called drive him, beat him, and turn him.
Quick reversal. Seals gets the man flying by, and very tentatively again. The foul not there. Gendron and Wallace after it. Alternating possession arrow belongs to Tulsa.
Seals should have shot that open 3. Instead, he tried to get a little bit closer because he struggled in his first 2 games, so his confidence level is down. Hey, you know, you think of Tulsa, you think about some great athletes that have come out of Tulsa. We were talking to Judy McLeod, the fine athletic director.
Yes.
I mean, they've had Nancy Lopez went there, great golfer.
Tough break that time. Seals did get a good look on the fall away. What about ball pressing?
What about Steve Largent, football player, now a congressman?
Wojo
nice
gets a roll. That's a beautiful scoop.
Took it right into traffic.
And Wojo trying to get the Dukies going here. Fans are here for Duke. A little bit more support for Duke than Tulsa, but Tulsa still enjoying a 6-point lead.
Well, the Dukies got that national level, that national name. Duke's coming on. A little run here.
Freshman from St. Louis, Carwell with that rebound. The ball poked away, but the trailer Gendron. It'll still belong to Wojo and the Blue Devils. Don't forget Gary Miller, Digger Phelps standing by in the studio.
What a combination.
Fawcett halftime report coming up.
Well, a Delta Fawcett dynamic duo. I mean, Gary and wow, and Digger.
Here we are. It's 30-25 this afternoon. Windy. Dick decides we're going to walk back from the garden to the hotel. Barely made it back with icicles on our earlobes. we're talking about the volley later tonight. 3, or make it the 2 off the mark for Langdon. Seals. Carwell shuts him down, but Carwell picks up the foul.
Carroll with that grab on Seals. Seals has got that strong upper body. As you said, he worked in the weight room, got himself a little stronger. Look at that strong upper body. Look at number 21. I wish I had a physique like that. I wish I had shoulders like that. There he is drawing the contact. Come on, Shane, give me a body like that.
20 points against Dream Team 3.
Knocked out 4 threes.
Scared him with Brevin Knight that night.
Yeah, Brevin Knight and Seals played so well, dunking on that clock. They had dream team. They really, really worried.
Seals has not been filling it up from the outside. He's manufactured little things inside away from the ball and misses the front end of the bonus.
Doesn't seem like he's getting a good rhythm on his release. He seems to be a little tight. Well, score that. Score that. I think you got to score that basket. I think you got to score that basket.
That was an air ball 5 feet short of the rim.
Well,
I don't know how you can score it.
No chance to go in. Let's see right here. No chance to go in. I thought we had a little interference. No, you're right. No chance to go in. No chance to go in, referee. No chance to go in, Mr. Zebra. Get the zebra shirt for my partner. That had no chance to go in. No chance to go in.
6-point lead for Tulsa. Duke has the ball, though. 23 still left in the shot clock. And now they're looking to take some time possibly off the shot clock.
You're right. The ball has to have a chance to go in.
Real good call by Ted Valentine.
Yeah, Valentine.
The man on the perimeter said no way.
Teddy Valentine right on top of it.
Liked it very quiet this first half offensively, Dick.
Well, they got roughing on him right now. A big guy playing him. They got to try to lay some screens to get him free for that velvet jump shot.
Wojo again. Newton 0 for 7. Make it 1 for 8. Finally, he gets one.
Newton hanging around the basket. Look at Wojo trying to deny the ball in the backcourt.
6-0 spurt now ever since Wojo started to get everybody fired up. 6-0 spurt.
Oh, you got to love the way he plays. He plays so hard, the little guy.
And they're going to call a walk, I believe. Yes. What a play, though, by Wojo. Almost got it back.
I tell you, he really plays so hard defensively. Come out of Baltimore, Maryland. That becomes contagious to everybody on your club when you see a guy give that kind of effort. Michael Kay gave that effort when he played for the General at West Point, 1969. There's Wojo. Look at him diving for the loose ball. And then he's going to take that little extra step, pick up the loose ball. Walking violation.
Tough.
He's tough, though. He looks like a linebacker. Looks like he's ready to put on a uniform and play some football. He looks like he's ready to play some football. Look at him. Takes the little extra step. Oh, a little hop. You got to like guys that burn those knees, that get that skin burn and dive. That's what Michael Kay did when he played for the General. 69, they went to the NIT semifinals here, beat a great South Carolina team early with Bobby Cremins, and then they lost to Bob Cousy of Boston College. The year before, they were in the NIT as well. And they had a chance to go to the NCAA. But Mike said they decided at that time the NIT was where they wanted to go with West Point.
Wojo talking to Tim Higgins. One of the 3 officials, one of the very best in the country. Tim working ACC, mostly Big East. See him all the time on ESPN, like Ted Valentine, one of the other officials, along with Leroy Hendricks tonight.
I think more airtime than David Little.
I like the way Wojo talked to him, though. Conversation about what developed on the play.
Oh, they missed Ruffin inside, had him open. They really go to the box as well. Really well coached. Excellent spacing.
Seals not close again. Wojo picking up the loose stuff. The numbers favor Duke. Newton's
nice pass. Nice pass. Nice pass.
Finishes.
That's Duke basketball. Give up the rock. Look for the open man. Finalize, convert. If you were at Cameron right now, the Cameron Crazies would be rock and rolling, and they would be jumping. It would be jubilation.
They can play for the final shot now, the Golden Hurricane, and they need to play for the final shot. 8-0 run over the last 2+ minutes.
And sparked by Wojo defensively. Really did a great job defensively to give him that little spark.
Inside of 10. Pick on the low block, and they're going to call Bennett for moving on that pick. Offensive foul.
Duke going in that locker room with a little momentum now. Uncle Mo sliding to the side of the Dukies. All because of this little guy, Wojciechowski. I can't spell that. Can you imagine that? Spell that name in Krzyzewski. If anybody out there can spell that really quick, write me a note, and I will believe they spelled it, and I'll send them a nice gift. Look at Wojo with the little pass. There's the diagonal pass, and Newton gives it up. And they play unselfish, and there's the conversion to finalize.
What about all the minutes for the freshman from Cardinal River High School in St. Louis? Coach K showing confidence in Carrawell.
Well, they like him. They really think he's got great ability. He got a dislocated shoulder in high school. Wait till you see his former high school teammate, Lauren Woods, who's playing in a perfect environment at Wake Forest where every day he can practice against Tim Duncan, the best big kid in the United States. 7-1, Lauren Woods. Remember that name, Joel Myers.
Carrawell misses the second. Thompson has it. Final seconds.
Got to stop the ball.
Time, yes.
Almost went in, Digger! Gary! Almost went in! Wow!
In the first half, And welcome back once again to the Garden. Joel Myers along with Dick Vitale. 9-0 spurt at the same time for the Duke Blue Devils, and Wojo really sparked it.
Well, the little guy, he got up defensively. See, I'm going to get on you right now. He got in his face, drove him, beat him, turned him, and did a great job. Then offensively, he saw some gaps, and he started to penetrate. Look at him get right in the gap and seam. And then he goes to the left hand, kisses it on the glass, converts it. I'll tell you, the little guy gave him a spark. Look at the emotion. Shows a lot of emotion, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. Look at the little guy. He said, I love it. Come on, Dukies. Take a look right here, the Duracell first half stats. Take a look right now. Free throw line, Brick City, USA, 6 for 13 and 4 for 7. 3-point line, only 1 for 5 right now. As you look for Tulsa and Duke, only 2 for 7. Rebounding totals, wow. I don't think that could be accurate. Is that accurate? Is that accurate? I can't believe that number.
And Ruffin did an exceptional job early on the boards. Finished with 9 over the first 20 minutes of play. Only 3 points, though, for Michael Ruffin. And those first 3 came over the first 5 minutes of the game. So we are ready for the second 20 now. Carmen Wallace will bring it in for Duke.
What a job Tulsa did on the glass. They go 30-19 on the glass, and that's why they have that 1-point lead. Duke went in with some momentum at halftime. If you're Tulsa, you got to shut them down right now. You can't allow them to come out and get a spurt and take that early lead on you.
Newton still can't find it.
Had a 9-0 spurt at the end of the half. Duke. Now this is where Seals got to show he's an All-American. All-Americans have a way of stepping up. He's got all of New York. No better place to do it than on Broadway, baby, in New York City.
Gendron over Newton.
Gendron on the inside. See, Digger made his fame when he was here in Broadway. Fordham University, when they had all those guys, Yelverton and company, and they made him look like a star. And then he headed to South Bend, Indiana for the Notre Dame job.
Wojo on target, and he wasn't looking for the shot. We talked about it early in the game.
There's Wojo. He wants to step it up for his teammates defensively and offensively.
He is tied it now at 29. Wojo was 7th. Last time Duke had the lead, the only time they had the lead, it was 2-1.
I'll tell you what really impresses me statistically when I see a guy has 1 turnover in 2 games. Wojciechowski, nice little dish.
And they'll call the reach in, and that saved an automatic basket. So a smart foul for Tulsa. That'll be Rod Thompson, his second. Minute 15 into the second half. And now, Duke with the opportunity to take the lead.
When you look at the minutes played by Wojciechowski, to think he only has 2 turnovers thus far this year. Nice entry into Newton. Newton finally gets the conversion. He made a great move early in this half. The first move, it just didn't go down. Nice drop step on the inside from out of Canada. Came in really highly acclaimed along with Joey Beard, who's not here, but playing for Boston University. And Dennis Walker doing a good job. Transfer.
Thompson around Wojo. Fingertip roll didn't work, but Maldonado has it. Tie it up. They'll call a jump ball. Alternating possession still belongs to Tulsa.
We're going to watch Newton now on the inside. Watch the big fella right here. Freeze it right here. Look how wide open he is in the lane. They got to spot up and find the big guy. They're going to double up, and they're going to leave him open. Now look at the drop step into the lane. It is the little touch. He's got that quick release.
Seals NBA 3-point range.
Well, that's what a star does. A PT Peer has a way of stepping up, making big shots, becoming a big playmaker, just like guys do in football. The football stars, the Jerry Rices, that make the big plays.
14 points now for Jay Seals to lead all scorers in the game.
And has not even shot really well.
I was surprised he was 5 of 12 at the break. I thought it was worse than that. Carrawell left alone. And the freshman from St. Louis making the most of his minutes.
Yeah, he's earning a lot of playing time, Joe. Came in, gave him a spark. Really very active player. Was an outstanding player at the 5-star basketball camp. Howard Garfinkel here, the big guru of the camp.
Thompson barely off the mark on that 3.
Oh, there's a little bump. They missed the bump right there. Knocked Wojo out, laid a little hit on him.
Seals back-to-back 3s. No. And the foul on the push on the weak side. Maldonado doesn't like the call. It's his 3rd.
Tulsa had that good run last year at the end of the year to win the Missouri Valley Conference. They beat Bradley. First of all, had to beat Evansville and then Illinois State. Illinois State had a big win opening game. They blew out Pittsburgh by 16 at Pittsburgh. And then I saw the other day, Navy beat Pittsburgh by 11. That really surprised me. I thought Pittsburgh was going to be really an improved team this year. I know they're playing without Varga, one of their key players.
Maldonado sitting down with 3. But Zach Bennett takes over down to the baseline. Now Duke with a 1-point advantage and the ball.
Langdon, outstanding three-point shooter, and they know that, so they're really matching up on him, shutting him down, playing good perimeter defense.
Newton, the senior, over the redshirt freshman Bennett.
I tell you one thing I like about Newton, how active he is inside. Struggled out in the first half, 1 for 7, but still wants the ball.
The takeaway, Carmen Wallace created it. Here comes Wojo. Wallace, the finish. And it was batted away by Crawford. Will they call the foul? Yes. 2 at the line coming up for Carmen Wallace. So he was rewarded after starting it.
This Duke team's going to be really fun to watch. They're going to be very exciting. There's Newton on the inside, posted number 55, getting that good, strong inside position, and then has the touch for the conversion.
First foul on Adrian Crawford. So the senior Carmen Wallace, a part-time starter last year, trying to add to the largest lead for Duke already at 3. Make it 4. And don't forget Saturday, 6 o'clock Eastern. Great college football. Tennessee on the road at Vandy. Tennessee needs to win if they're going to lock up a New Year's Day bowl game with Peyton Manning, of course, at the controls. Saturday night, 6 o'clock Eastern, right here on ESPN. Couple of free throws, and all of a sudden, Duke up by 5.
Really making it happen defensively, and Newton on the inside, but it's been the little guy, number 12, who's made things happen. He's been the catalyst. Wojciechowski offensively and defensively.
Gentry getting the pick. The drop inside. Ruffin can't finish, though. Colding. Count it.
The Cowboy with the score. He passes the basketball and takes it up. Eufaula, Oklahoma is where he's from. Eric Coley. And I'm kidding you not, he is a Cowboy. There's the little dump down to Coley. Coley had 11 rebounds against UCLA. He's working on the glass. There's the conversion. Eric Coley likes the rope. Ready for this? He likes the rope. Horses, look at him, he breaks horses. He's working on the glass, number 11 from Eufaula, who's originally from Rochester, New York. Eufaula, here's a little trivia, some stars that have come through there. The Selman brothers.
Without a doubt. What about J.C. Watts?
J.C. Watts, the congressman, that's right, but also, I mean, you're talking Leroy Selman, you're talking classes up in the Tampa Bay area.
Goldie can't convert on the three-point play. Capel going after it, getting help. And McLeod back on the floor for the first time now in the second half.
Well, McLeod really off slowly because he really came out so fired up. He can play inside, outside. The transfer from St. John's, the first transfer ever to arrive at Duke University under Mike Krzyzewski.
Langdon out of control, bailed out. No, they're going to call the charge. Thought maybe the reach in from behind, but Ruffin there to accept the charge. Third foul on Trajan Langdon. The two we spotlighted at the top of the show have been a little bit tentative in the garden tonight. And Langdon, who you're looking at now, and you just talked about McLeod coming home.
Well, you know what happens. You start out, you have some good games. Mike Krzyzewski knows both guys have had solid starts, Langdon and McLeod. Now teams really gear for you. Expectations and trying to do it on a consistent basis is what separates the average player from the star player.
A couple of wasted trips now by Duke. The reversal by Ruffin. It'll still belong to Tulsa, but I like the look. Going across the paint, trying to find Seals.
Well, they do a great job moving without the basketball, Tulsa. They're very active without the ball.
Tulsa after trailing by 1 at the break. And don't forget, matinee, day after Thanksgiving. Sit back, Tony Amani, off the best start of his career. And the Chicago Blackhawks taking on Timo Solani, Paul Correa, and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. 4 o'clock Eastern. It's coming Friday afternoon. Ducks off to a very slow start. Hawks doing a good job so far. Join us Friday afternoon. Well, a slow beginning to the second half still for Trajan Langdon, as well as Rashawn McLeod.
McLeod from out of St. John's, where he played there with Lopez and Zendon Hamilton. They were beaten in their first game by LIU St. John's. It certainly shocked everybody. It was an alumni hall down at St. John's. Sometimes you start out like that, teams regroup and really get a big lift. Oh, nice pass.
You're going to call a foul, though, on the pass by Coleman. Takes away an easy bucket for Ruffin. McLeod, though, came into the game averaging 18 over the first 2 for Duke. 2 so far for Rashawn McLeod. 4 so far for Langdon. 6 of 7 at the three-point arc against St. Joe's. And the takeaway by Duke. Defense pays off again.
I think you're going to see Duke have different scorers every game, basically, because they're going to have guys like Price and capable of having good nights. And it'll be very difficult, I think, to have one guy consistently be their leading scorer.
Capel Step on the baseline, but Coley takes it away.
Defense keeping Tulsa in this game.
Look inside for Bennett.
Nice game. Good two-man play right there. Dumping the ball inside. Bennett gets good position. I like the way Crawford handles the basketball. Left-hander. Plays hard.
6'5" guard.
He's rated top 75 in the country. Zach Bennett did a good job getting position inside.
Boys trade now for Tulsa. Only a 1-point lead for Duke. McLeod leaving it up for Wojo. That three-point range for NBA standards. Ruffin fouled as he came down with the rebound.
Boy, Ruffin really likes the rebound, Joel. We're going to take a look at the other end right now. The little two-man play. Look at Crawford. Freeze it. Look at the inside. Freeze it. Right here. He had inside position to help a little slow rotating over. And now he's going to get the conversion. Zach Bennett, who was the star of stars. They loved him in Tulsa when he converted that second free throw to beat UCLA at UCLA.
And as Ruffin comes down with his 10th rebound, that brings Drake Newton back up the game for Duke. So he matches up now with Ruffin at the defensive end of the floor. Thompson also back out to work the point.
Execution so important. They really do a great job looking for each other, moving the basketball. Player movement and ball movement are essential to having a good offensive team.
Shove underneath away from the ball. So they tried to work it in, finally didn't. When I asked Steve Robinson about this system that they call their Kansas system, because that's where he worked with Roy Williams. I said, what does it mean to you guys? He goes, unselfish play.
Well, that's what Kansas is all about. All the great programs give up the basketball, look for the open man. They play as a team, as a unit, and that's what Steve Robinson's trying to develop here at Tulsa. He certainly has started that last year, going 22-8.
Ricky Price just picking up his first foul.
He's the guy that's got to give a little spark. Ricky Price could be explosive.
The walk on Thompson. The turnover against Tulsa is their 18th. We still have 14-17 left in the second half. A tight first matchup, semifinals. The Chase NIT later tonight, Evansville, Indiana. Duke with the ball and a 1-point lead at 37-36.
Well, much as we said today, so in practice, I'm still trying to find an identity with our club as follows a rotation, so we really don't know yet about our team.
McLeod tied up after the entry, missed by Price.
He said, I know I have a lot of depth and I know I have a lot of people I can rotate, but I want to be able to find a little bit more out about each player to see who's going to be consistent, and that takes time to find that out. And you find it out with good competition early. Not playing cupcake cities, but you find out by playing good people. Oh, they missed him. Should have had him a little bit earlier.
And Cable blocked by Ruffin. Jedrin comes down and he's fouled by Price.
Cable made a good cut without the basketball right down the gut in their special plays, but they didn't get him the basketball.
You're looking for moments in this early college basketball season. The last two times that Duke came to the preseason NIT, they also went to the national championship game, winning one of those two. Back in '85. Shea Seals yet to get off in the second half.
They use Ruffin up on the top, the invert him, bring him inside, outside.
Jedrin and Wojo, who tied for the team lead in rebounding in the first half, comes down with his fifth.
Well, he gets those long rebounds.
Seals kept it away from Newton as well as Cable. Did a good job.
Dribble penetration, getting in the gap and the kick out.
Good help defense from Wojciechowski. But he's burned by Thompson waiting to the corner.
Well, Thompson spots up, gets the open three, but it was the look by Seals with the great size right over the top of the defense to find him.
7-0 run now by Tulsa. They take a 39-37 lead on the three.
See, Seals with that size was able to look right over the defense. There's the block shot.
Ruffin gets another.
A nice look. Wojciechowski with the great look.
He's got it and he's fouled. The assist to Wojo.
I mean, he made that play before the ball even got in his hands. He was aware. He anticipated exceptionally well. There's the hug by the Dukies. They love playing together. They love wearing that uniform. Look at Wojo. I mean, the no-look pass. He says, Newman, I'll get you the ball. Come on, give me an assist. Come on, Greg. Give me an assist. Come on, Greg. We're going to take a look at Seals right now. See, right in the lane here. Freeze it. And already he is spotting up. His teammate's going to spot right in this area. And we're going to see right there. Look at the spot. Right here. He's going to get him the basketball. And now to look over. And there it is. Dump it down. Mr. Thompson with the conversion. But the look by Seals.
Garrow keeps it alive. Off the whistle, back into the game. Working against Crawford. The penetration move, leaving it up for Carrawell. Easy one.
Oh, Carrawell, little up and away. You're going to like those kids, Chappelle and Carrawell, the CC gang down there at Duke.
Little elevation there with 12.5 minutes left in the contest. And a 2-point lead for Duke as Ruffin had fouled Newton after that last basket. So almost like a 4-point trip.
You're going to have all the C's running wild down here. The Cameron Crazy, CC, and CC, Carrawell, and Chappelle.
Ruffin, partially deflected by Newton. Another one, though, for Ruffin. Break on the bounce. Seals. Was he charging? No, a blocking foul on Newton.
They get the block. They do a good job as well, Tulsa, moving the ball, getting that extra pass. And that's always been a trademark of Roy Williams, where Steve Robinson really worked 7 years. One thing about guys like Roy Williams, they delegate well, as you see the block on a baseline.
And now Tulsa has to capitalize, because still with 12-14 left, there to the stripe the rest of the way. They're 1-1 now.
Got a chance to talk to Steve a little bit out in Tulsa. Had the pleasure to be the guest speaker at the Hank Iba banquet, where they honored some recipients for that prestigious award representing one of the greatest coaches of all time. Henry Iba was one of the real special people in the coaching fraternity.
Senior from McLean High School in Tulsa, Shea Seals. They convert. Opportunity to tie it up, and he gets the roll.
Gets that roll down. See, Hawley told me, so I came very close, but then it was family, and then it was friends, and I decided to stay right there at Tulsa. And you got to believe Steve Robinson was really happy that the young man decided to stay there, because he became the recipient of Mr. Seals, who played earlier in his career under Tubby Smith. Tubby now at Georgia, did a great job, took him to the Sweet 16. Remember when they put the hurt on UCLA? They embarrassed UCLA in the first round.
102.
1994. They put a clinic on, running up and down the floor in transition. And then UCLA showed pride. The following year, came back, won the national title.
That was the mission for those UCLA seniors. Zedek, O'Bannon, and Edney.
There should be a mission this year for the club they have now, after getting embarrassed by Princeton as they go out of bounds. Sideline call.
Langdon on the sideline. It's tied at 41. 12:04 left.
I'll tell you one thing, those kids from Tulsa aren't intimidated by that jersey that says Duke, with all that tradition and all that national television exposure. As Judy McLeod told us today, the AD, the fine AD of Tulsa, says, we want television exposure. We're going to play 11 o'clock at night in a WAC game, Central Time.
They don't mind.
On Monday.
And they sell out the convention center, 8,500 strong. Gendron gets away after Cable went for the steal. A foul away from the ball, the hold on Domzalski. He's only a sophomore. Lovington, New Mexico.
The one thing both these coaches are starting to develop early in the season is the depth that we talked about. But what that does and why it's such a positive, it makes practice such an intense situation. As you look right there, Mike Krzyzewski, to Mike's left, Tommy Amica. Why? I ask why. Why isn't Tommy Amica a head coach yet? Some athletic director out there, I mean, they're kidding themselves. That guy, you watch him in practice, you watch him communicate with players, you watch the job he does in recruiting, you watch his teaching ability. He's lock city to be a star. I would endorse him anywhere. Thomas Amica. Somebody hire him at a big-time school. Can't miss.
Domzalski gets a break. It goes right to Langdon on the loose stop. And Rojo will reset the offense. Still 20 left in the shot clock. Chappelle also into the game now.
Do you think I like him?
Just a little. Quinn Snyder, another former Duke ball player on the bench. Take away for Coley on the double team with Gendron. With Ruffin, the trailer.
Not a good look right there. Had the trailer, but threw the ball at his feet rather than in front of him. Ruffin threw the ball up a little bit. Ruffin could have taken that and converted it with a jam. Look at Wojo pulling out a signal. Going to go to a little 1-4 set, double stack. Double stack. They're going to lock down on the post.
Chappelle right there. Will they give him 3? No. He's just inside the line for 2.
Chappelle really played well early in the practice session. They also got another great freshman who's out with a thumb injury, dislocated, Nate James from out of Maryland.
Wojo can't believe the call. Went down to try to steal it away. Now, Maldonado just missed the front end of the bonus. Pretty soon they're going to get 2 the rest of the way. That is the 9th team foul. And don't forget tomorrow, the Great Alaska Shootout on ESPN. Rematch of the championship game. Syracuse taking on Kentucky. Great start, 9 o'clock Eastern, then Maine against Alaska Anchorage. Second half of our doubleheader. Tomorrow night, the Great Alaska Shootout right here on ESPN.
They Boeheim and Patino hooking up head-to-head. Boeheim got a little bad luck right now. Todd Bergen's going to be out for 7 games, it looks like. At least 7 or 8 games he's going to be suspended for. They said, I believe, a quarter of the season. There's some problems on campus. It's amazing. It just blows my mind today, and I certainly don't know much about the Todd Bergen situation. But when you pick up the paper and you read about so many athletes today who really don't know how to handle the responsibilities that come with being a student athlete. It's really a sad scene out there in many cases, Joel. It really breaks your heart because I know I love young people, and you get such an opportunity, the visibility, the exposure you get, the chance to really make your life something special. A lot of guys don't take advantage of it.
Especially the opportunity to get that degree.
Well, they allow the ball to use them rather than use the ball, and that's why you love certain people out there. You see them do it the right way. The David Robinsons, the Michael Jordans.
Chappelle doesn't get the roll after hitting his first basket last trip down the floor. Seals against Chappelle. Carrawell taking care of it, but when we come back, Tulsa will have the ball at the offensive end. Duke by a point. Looks like it could be tight to Duke. Tulsa has the basketball. Tulsa led by as many as 10 at the intermission. Mike Krzyzewski is trying to find out more and more about his team as Dick has been talking about it. Free throws killing Tulsa right now. So many opportunities at the stripe and only 9 of 19 after hitting 71%, Dick, over the first 2 games of the strike.
Well, that's going to certainly hurt you, especially in close games. And against somebody that's a favorite, you got to be able to convert and make those count and shoot in the 70 percentile area, which they're capable as we look at the turnovers right now, 19 for Tulsa. That's going to happen with the kind of pressure that Duke applies. They're going to force you out of your sets.
Ruffin was available. Late recognition by Tulsa, though, at the offensive end. We approach the halfway mark of the second half. Duke trying to add to the 1-point lead. Newt got the look from Carrawell. The block is there for Bennett. Goes right to Chappelle, though, and he's got 4.
What I like about Chappelle and Carrawell, they're both very active. They really are very active on the floor, very aggressive. And Chappelle is a very skilled player from out of Southfield, Michigan.
Thompson over Wojo for 3 on target, and it's even now at 45.
That's a nice inside-outside look, and nothing like that 3-point shot to give you a big lift.
Give the assist to Zach Bennett, who got it out there real quickly once Wojo sagged in.
He's a pretty good passer. He really has awareness where his teammates are, Bennett, once he touches the rock on the inside. They kick that right out. Does that help? They do a little job hedging, go to a trap. Got to reverse the ball.
Carrawell stuffed by Ruffin. He's got at least 5 unofficially now.
Not a good shot right there by Carrawell. He had a wide open Chappelle. They make one extra pass. They had the open shot.
Attacking fast. You're right.
Playing the 2 freshmen together. Playing a quick lineup right now.
Tulsa tries to take the lead. 9 minutes left. Seals posting up against the youngster Chappelle and goes right around him on the baseline. Took him to school.
What's interesting right now, you got Price and Cable on the sideline. 2 experienced players. They're playing the 2 young kids here. Giving him some minutes under pressure.
Cut by Langdon. He'll go to the line to shoot 2, fouled by Genford.
Well, Langdon did a great job of using the screen right there. So we're going to watch right here. Look at Seals trying to post inside. See him trying to lock inside. He's trying to post it. Come on, give me the ball to the baseline. Give me the ball quicker. He said, get it to me quicker. I can go right around him on that baseline. I'm very acrobatic. He said, I got all that agility, that mobility.
I've already got that left arm wrapped around his back. Good move by Shea Seals.
You know, I was looking at Mike a minute ago, coaching that sideline, and reflect back to 91 and 92. You talked earlier about winning national championships. And what an unbelievable accomplishment that was to go back-to-back. First time to happen since John Wooden back in the early 70s with UCLA. But why that team was so special, they had great point guard play with Bob Hurley. They had great play on the wings with Grant Hill and inside with Laettner.
Wallace, what a good away. Huge bucket as Ruffin seemed to mistime his jump a little bit.
One of Mike's favorite players because he plays so hard. He gets maximum out of his talent. Carmen Wallace. See, Duke had every part of the floor covered where they excelled. The point, the wing, and the inside during the 90s with Hurley, Hill, and Laettner.
Ruffin asking for it. He's shoved from behind by Chappelle, who got to the block a little bit late. So Ruffin right back at the free throw line, but it doesn't make any difference if they keep going to the line and missing it. Now, though, 2 the rest of the way. They're in double digits in fouls, the Blue Devils.
You know, you mentioned back-to-back in the ACC. Wake Forest went back-to-back, winning the ACC titles in tournament time. The last team to go 3 in a row in the ACC. Trivia question. The Tar Heels in Chapel Hill did it in 67, 68, and 69.
Ruffin only 2 of 6 at the stripe. Reagan 3 of 7. Evansville, Indiana. Hoosiers in heaven.
Wow, that's the general. I got to go get his autograph. I just saw him in the locker room. Can I go get his autograph? That's Robert Montgomery Knight. I want to kiss his ring. But you know what? He had his hands folded in the back, and I got on my knees and I kissed it anyway. I mean, I don't care. That's the general.
Ruffin now 4 of 8 at the stripe. And a 1-point lead.
Ooh, look at this look. First time, a 2-2-1 press. Multiple defenses. Something he learned again from Floyd Williams, who's now become one of the giants of the coaching fraternity. 7 years was an assistant with the 2 Final Fours while he was there with Mr. Williams. In fact, they lost to Duke in the national championship game in one of the Final Fours in '91. 93, they lost to North Carolina in the semifinals, Kansas. Steve Robinson credits Roy with a lot of his coaching ability.
Langdon in trouble, throws the ball away. What a jump by Crawford right out on him when he was ready to go for the 3-pointer. So a turnover, and it's the 13th by Duke. 1-point lead for Tulsa, 7:42 left at the go. Don't forget, day 2 of the grade 8 at the United Center. UMass coming off a loss at the Maui, taking on Georgetown. That'll be game 1 of our doubleheader. Game 2, Cincinnati dethroned just last night by Xavier in that Queen City rivalry in Kansas. What a matchup that's going to be. Well, our second game of the doubleheader at 9:30 Eastern.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Georgetown's going to be better than people believe. Victor Page is going to put a lot of points on the board. And Cincinnati coming off that loss. Lenny Brown at the buzzer. Xavier. Hey, James Posey. Remember that name. Howard Garfinkel from 5-Star told me that Posey was one of the best newcomers in the country that didn't play last year. As we see the turnover right here.
Pressure from Wojo paid off right on the hip of Crawford.
Yeah, right at Crawford. But remember this name, James Posey. And last night he had 14 points and 11 rebounds for Xavier. And Lumpkin, Gerald Lumpkin, a dynamic guard combination for Xavier. But I'll tell you one thing. Cincinnati will be back. They're just too talented, and their coach won't allow them to lose. It'll be payback time. I don't want to be Rutgers. Rutgers plays them next.
Bounce entry for Newt. Big bucket of the baseline to give Duke a 1-point lead.
Greg Newton's got that excellent touch from the baseline. He really works hard to get position inside.
He's added 25, almost 30 pounds during the offseason in the weight room. He's running Maldonado. Instead, they go to Seals. Great position for Seals, but he can't finish. Now we've got a rebounding foul on Maldonado. Is that the 4th on Maldonado? Yes. So quickly, Ruffin coming into the game now for Maldonado. Thompson back in for Crawford. The depth apparent for both teams. In fact, out of the 50 points for Duke, starters and subs almost even. The starters have 26 of the 50 points. The subs have 24, Dick.
To show the confidence that Duke has in terms of their bench, I mean, they're playing right now some of their freshman kids as opposed to playing their veterans like Capel and Price. They're playing new people out there. I know Mike's really high on Chappelle and Carrawell. He's got Wallace on the floor. No, there's Chappelle, the freshman. They love this kid.
The screen pays off for Mike Chappelle. 7 all coming in the second half.
He's got excellent skills. By that, I mean he has the ability to put it on the floor. He's got range as a shooter. Michael Chappelle.
They led by as many as 5 early in the second half. Seals tries to cut into the deficit. Not close. Way short.
They go to the number 1 option. Seals their last 2 possessions, but come up empty. Look, Mike calling for a special play now. He wants a little special play. They go to a 1-4 set. And ISO Wojciechowski for a little dribble penetration.
Look there.
And they go to a double stack.
Look there. Trying to get to Chappelle. The hot
hand. Chappelle again.
There
they go to Chappelle again. Little stack. There's the call by Coach K. And Chappelle delivers. He delivers. Little NBN. Nothing but nylon here at the Garden.
Duke has their biggest lead. They're on top by 7 now. 56-49. And Wojo almost takes it away.
They got a score here. This is a big possession right here. Digger and Gary. This is a big possession. I know they're watching in the studio. They're charting and watching every play.
Inside 5.5 left. Coley almost got caught taking a walk. Seals too strong.
0 for 3 in the last 3 possessions. Seals taking advantage or trying to take advantage of the defense, but not converting.
Wojo, I think sheer exhaustion has set in. He has worked so hard at both ends of the floor, and he is bleeding a little bit.
There's
Cut
the
on the eye.
There's the captain right there. He was a captain when he got out of West Point. 5 years, then became a grad assistant at Indiana for the General in 1975. There's Wojo working hard defensively. Hits the deck, trips over his teammate Wallace. Wallace in good defensive position. Captain calls timeout.
Duke hitting 60% of their shots in the second half. Newton started it, and now Duke has made 5 consecutive field goals to take their largest lead of the game at 56-44 at Duke, and they're looking for the hot hand regularly, Dick, by Chappelle.
Well, they're going to go for Chappelle. Right, freeze it. Right here. Chappelle's going to come off a double screen that they're going to fold here, and he's going to go to the three-point line of the NBA. He says, I'm not going to go to the college line. Look, there's the curl move. Now he steps out. Freeze it. Freeze it. Look, he's back here. He's supposed to be up here. Come on, but he doesn't matter. It's going to go right to the goal, baby. There it is. He lets it fly from Southfield, Michigan. Tickles the twine. I mean, he tickles the twine. Did it twice.
Well, the storyline. Tulsa's turned it over far too regularly. Seals can't get going. We talked about it. He had problems over the first 2 games from the floor. Duke starters and subs. Well, the subs now have outscored the starters 30-26. They've outscored as well the Tulsa subs 30-8.
Well,
and a 20 has been taken by Duke with a quick trap out by the hash mark. And Wojo still bleeding with that gut.
Tulsa went to a real hard trap half court. Capel was in a trapping situation. Comes on the floor now. They go to some experience in their backcourt. They get the trap, and Capel calls the timeout. Hey, I got a trivia question for you. Ask me this. This is unbelievable. Capel has 173s. That's right. He's made 173s to finish 3rd so far at Duke coming into this year. Who's number 1?
Bobby Hurley.
Yep, you're
Bobby
right.
Hurley, Chris Collins, number 2.
That's right. Hurley has 264 threes, and the rap on Hurley when he came here was he can dribble, he can penetrate, he can play defense, but he can't make the open shot. Well, forget about it. He's the all-time leader at 40% and made 264 threes. Percentage-wise, the leader is Christian Lady.
Go to the hot hand out of the timeout. I like the call. Carmen Wallace trying to save it and does so right to Newton.
That's got to make that freshman feel really big.
Newton's foul comes through with the bucket.
Newton's really had a strong second half, and there's the hug. Chappelle says, I like you, Newton. I like you.
Showed the tenacity. And there's the guy who started it all with a 9-0 spurt over the final 3 minutes of the first half, when it's also led by as many as 10.
Well, he did a great job defensively. But here's right now Newton working on the inside. Takes it up. Very aggressive inside. Last year got himself a little bit in trouble. He says, you know, Tim Duncan's a little passive. He's a little soft. But he responded.
What about the effort by Carmen Wallace?
Well, that's why Wallace is playing. But I'll tell you one thing. Newton didn't back down. He played Duncan really tough when they met the second time. But I'll take Mr. Duncan on my team any day of the week. In fact, if you had to pick an All-American team, and if everybody even came back to school, the Iversons, the Joe Smiths, the Wallaces, I still would have Duncan on my first-team All-American team.
Mike Chappelle with a foul away from the ball.
In fact, since you asked, you don't want to know, I'll give you my All-American team.
I'm ready.
Of everybody. As we take a look right here, Mass, Bruiser Flint was ejected yesterday. Got ejected in that game.
What about Cal's first game against Iowa?
South Carolina with a big W right there. They needed that win, and Iowa comes back with a big blowout over Charlotte.
Other scores in college basketball. Going to be a very busy weekend. Don't forget, we've got Evansville, Indiana coming up next from the Garden in just a few minutes after this one. And then the championship game on Friday night, Dick.
Well, you know, I was talking about if everybody came back and there's so many great players, I would go with an All-American team of Marcus Camby. I would go with Tim Duncan, Joe Smith across the front, Iverson and Stackhouse my backcourt. And that doesn't include guys like Marbury and all the people that have left early. I'll tell you, it would have been unbelievable had they all stayed in school. But you know what? That's dear to loss because college basketball is still exciting.
2 huge free throws for Shea Seals. Stops an 11-0 run by Duke. And now Thompson fouling Wojo. And Wojciechowski going to the free throw line with a 1-on-1 situation. The third on Thompson.
Well, you know, Steve Robinson's going to go to the half-court trap, and that's really dangerous against a club like Duke that really reverses the ball well and uses the post as the guy to be the passer to bring it to the weak side. So look for Duke to look opposite against the trap and get some layups.
Wojo at the free throw line, 76% last year. Trying to give Duke once again a 10-point lead, matching their largest.
Here's a perfect example. If you look at the Duke roster and you had to play one-on-one, there is no way that Wojciechowski's on the floor. But the game isn't about one-on-one. It's about understanding your role. His job is to get dribble penetration, to stop the basketball, pressure it, get the ball to open people, and he does that exceptionally well right now, and that's why he is playing.
Good cut man in the corner for Duke as well. A little butterfly, and he's back in there. Seals for three. They need it, and they get it.
Well, that's a big-time shot right there. Struggling, shooting the rock, but there he is, squares his body, and that's why he's one of the special players in college basketball.
23 points now. Jay Seals cuts the Golden Hurricane deficit down to 7.
And has not stopped playing defensively. He's a tough defensive player, as is Ruffin on the inside.
Wojo looking over to his coach for the play.
Doesn't have a lot of speed that he can beat people that easily off his dribble move. Ruffin matched up with Newton on the inside.
Langdon. Seals keeps him away.
He sealed him off. Seals sealed him off.
Thompson losing the handle. Langdon the trailer. And did he call a timeout? Yes, he did. Heads up play.
He's a bright kid. Had some great grades when he came out of high school. A 22nd timeout. Allow 3 a game right now with 2 regular timeouts that you're permitted. You can carry over and utilize 2 in the second half. The captain working the huddle. Look at the captain working the huddle. He's got a spark about this team. Is he excited again?
Don't forget to join us tomorrow. The rematch ready to go with Syracuse and Kentucky. The rematch of last year's national championship game. That'll start at 9 o'clock Eastern. And right after that one, Maine and Alaska Anchorage at midnight. 9 o'clock out of the West Coast. So join us. Great college basketball. Thanksgiving night right here on ESPN.
We had a great opening game with Clemson hooked up with Kentucky. And Clemson's going to be certainly a threat in the ACC, as this guy's club is as well. And this is 2 point guards, one on the left, one on the right. Quinn Snyder, he's got his MBA and his law degree as well. Unbelievable.
Doesn't plan on practicing law.
Loves basketball. He's a basketball junkie.
He wants to coach. He told us today he wants to be a head coach. Capel pulls away from Coleman. Inside of 3.5 minutes left. Duke with the ball in a 7-point lead.
There's a trap on the little guy. Now, see, he doesn't have a lot of size. He's got to get outside that trap.
And he's fouled by Bennett. He's right back to the free throw line.
Well, he utilized a little dribble maneuver to get away from the trap because he couldn't make that pass. He had an umbrella over him with a bit of deflection. Deflections. You're going to take a little handoff now. Look at Wojo right here. Freeze it. Freeze it. See, look at this here. They got the umbrella, so he has to wheel out with a little dribble move. He's not going to get away from this. I got to get away from this. Now watch him. There he is. Look at him wheeling out. Little guy says, I get away from that traffic. What are you laughing at me for?
I love it.
Oh, I'm wacky. I know that. I'm wacky. What can I say?
Wojo back to the line. The 1-and-1. Rest of the way now, it's going to be 2 free throws. The next foul, big double digits for Tulsa.
I just can't wait for getting into some of that ACC action this year. I think that conference from top to bottom is going to be such a dynamite league. Coming up later tonight, you got Virginia going against Kansas. A great backcourt for Virginia. Dean and Staples and Courtney Alexander has become big time.
Plenty of time left for Tulsa. As Thompson calls out the play. Wanted Seals to jump out against Capel.
Well, see, Capel right now is going to try to deny him the 3. He knows he's thinking 3. 8 points, certainly not a lead that you can't overcome, especially when you got a guy like this with the rock. There's a little foul, clock stops. I mean, yesterday, for example, a 5-point lead Cincinnati had with 1:28 and didn't get good point guard play. They lost that lead and lost the lead, lost the game. I really believe in college basketball. We were talking today. I'm telling you, I really believe you have to have great point guard play. Talking about Larry Donald, Jim O'Connell, fine players who are respected.
And especially now with the changes in rules over the last couple of years, that the point guard can, if there's the penetration rule right, doesn't come into effect anymore. That's where Tulsa has really been killed, though, at the free throw line. Basically, just about 57% now, 14 of 24, but we talked about it with better than 12 minutes left in the game. Well, they were in the bonus situation.
That killed Connecticut, too, in the first game against Indiana. Really had a poor night shooting from the free throw line.
Ruffin after it, took it away from Newton. Knocked out of bounds by Wallace. So another try at the offensive end. after Chase Heels got the first, missed the second.
Has not been really a strong performance by Duke tonight. They really haven't played as well as they played in their first 2 games, beating Vanderbilt and St. Joe's. But if you can walk away with a win and not playing well, I mean, that's a positive, because you're not going to play exceptional every night. There's just no way that's going to happen. And you got to credit the defensive ability also of Tulsa. I mean, they come right after you. They don't back down from anybody. They're going to have a good year in Tulsa. I'll tell you, they're going to have a strong year this season.
Crawford, will he get away with a bad pass? Yes, it goes to Bennett. And a walk by Bennett. It goes right back to Duke. A huge turnover.
And everybody's a referee. I mean, Wallace is a referee. Everybody's refereeing on a court. They're all making a call.
22 giveaways. Credit some of that defensive pressure that we talked about from Duke, forcing many of them. 22 turnovers now for Tulsa. Duke's got the ball back, up by 7.
We're going to take a look right here now. Duke trying to force that turnover. That's the deflection. Deflections means you're playing aggressive basketball. Rick Pitino started the art of charting deflections. He said, we chart deflections. That means that we're playing aggressive.
Langdon for 3. Yes!
He's been quiet, but he's got great range and he's got great touch. He knocked down 6 out of 7 in the opening game to show everybody that he was back strong as ever this year.
Foul away from the ball and a hold on Carrawell, sending Seals back to the line.
What's helping Langdon thus far early in the season, he's still not 100% with that knee, but because he's playing off the ball, not handling the ball exclusively like he did early in his career, Wojciechowski has the ball. It's allowing him to get into the flow and rhythm of the game and to look for his shot.
Difficult night. Out of the floor as well as the line. Seals gets the roll there.
I'll tell you, a lot of guys wish they could have a difficult night though like this guy, Joel. I'll tell you one thing, he's a gamer. He comes to play even though he's not shooting as well tonight as he's capable of. But the bottom line is he knows how to score, he's got a mentality for scoring, and he plays defensively.
Break off the miss for the second straight time. He hit 1 of 2 at the stripe. Gendron, 3-point threat comes in, taking over for Coley. Went off Wallace. So at the offensive end, Tulsa gets it back with 2:12 remaining. They're down by 9. Gendron, they set the double pick. He can't capitalize, though, but Seals gets it. Lost the handle, still belongs to Tulsa.
See, that's another dimension he brings to the table as a wing player. He's an excellent rebounder for a wing player, Seals. He's got the great, I love his pins, I love his arms. They really got the super, I wish I had strong arms. I'm like a little winkling, man. I'm a wimp. Help me out, a bald, ugly wimp. I got nothing going for me, nothing.
You notice I'm not bailing you out. Gendron to the baseline. Seals blocked on the double team. Carrawell and Wallace really elevating.
Well, Duke has come up with a lot of big plays defensively. They really have not been effectively offensively today. Had that really run, that one run at the end of the half, and certainly a spark by Carrawell knocking down those 2 threes.
Wojciechowski goes over to talk it over with his coach. He sparked it all. 9-0 run at the end of the half. Does he look like he's been in a fight?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, he looks like he's going to be a coach. I believe he will be a coach. He's another point guard who'll move to the sideline. Amica moves out to a head job. Wojciechowski moves to the sideline as an assistant. He's another extension of his coach.
He is a bulldog. What a bulldog. He did that in the Vandy game. He sparked it all.
He's going to be BMOC, big man on campus down here at Duke.
Wallace, the senior from Wilmington, Delaware. Missing the first of 2, minute 47 remaining. Other scores in college basketball.
Duke was in for a fight here today. They were in for a flat-out fight. I mean, this was no Cupcake City.
Plenty of time. A couple of threes. All of a sudden, a ball game after those 2 misses. They're trying to find Gendron beyond the arc.
That's Bennett. He's a real good passer.
The penetration. Thompson. Pretty play off the window.
Nice isolation to reverse the basketball. Good ball reversal. And Thompson gets that little kick. Lays it on a glass. Hey, Tulsa, we talked about some famous people. Also, Drew Pearson, isn't he from there as well? Dallas Cowboy fame?
You are all over it.
Also, Ray Rhodes, who coaches the Eagles.
The second half is Duke has been getting big performances from some of their super freshmen, especially Mike Chappelle, who turned it on in an 11-0 run at one point with about 10 minutes to go for Duke. And now with a minute 29 remaining, the Blue Devils in control, leading by 7. But Tulsa coming through, keeping the ball alive after misses at the charity stripe. Full timeout left, a couple of 20s still left for Tulsa. So they do have that in their favor if they can create some problems at the defensive end.
You don't want to go into that area with the basketball. You don't want to go in that area. You got to win with one.
Huge break.
Oh, he had him perfect where he wanted him with a trap. Had the deflection, but didn't come up with the loose ball. Capel had his back to the play, did everything you would not want done there in that trapping situation. Had his back to the play. He's too experienced and too talented to put himself into that position on the floor. Pick up his dribble, especially being the son of a coach. His father does a heck of a job down Old Dominion. In fact, last year, Duke won the preseason Great Alaska Shootout. They beat Old Dominion, then they beat Indiana, and they beat Iowa as well, because Iowa had that big win over Connecticut. Hey, we could be setting up possibly if the General were to win that game tonight. You got the General and Mike Krzyzewski hooking up Indiana and Duke in the finals of the NIT.
Does that mean we're in the Army now?
Wow. Also, you got right now. Evansville said, wait a minute, I'm going to spoil that party. Jim Cruz, remember, played at Indiana for Bob Knight. Also got to know Mike Krzyzewski. Well, Mike was an assistant in '75, and Cruz was on that team. And those Evansville kids looked really impressive today in practice. Their work ethic was unbelievable.
Bennett on the follow. The opportunity for three.
There's Bennett working hard. He made that great offensive rebound against UCLA. And he was a hero when he went to the line with 2 seconds on the clock. And all he had to do was make one, and he converted it. There's the entry now. Lou reversal, Seals with the jumper. But here comes Mr. Bennett. And I don't mean Tony Bennett. I don't mean my heart is left in San Francisco. And there it is, off the glass.
Dick, he makes his free throw. It's a 2-possession game.
Yeah, you're
Plenty of time, 69 seconds left.
Right down to 6.
He gets the roll. It is a 6-point game. We talked about the timeouts working in Tulsa's favor. They had a couple of 20s left, plus a full. Crawford, the long arm, 6'5", freshman, the coach's son, back in for defensive purposes.
What I really like about Tulsa is they rotate into different defenses and they're very active. And here they are in a full court trap. Going to try to go to a diamond trap. There's the trap. You got to reverse the ball out of it. They popped it loose. They got away. Wojciechowski. He's got Langdon. Wojciechowski saved it right there. Waved that goal off. And Duke really shaky against the trap. The Tulsa kids did a great job trapping, going to that diamond pressure. I call it a diamond. 1-2-1-1 press. There's the trap. Look at Thompson now. They're going to pop the ball loose. The ball goes to the deck. And the little guy, number 12. I mean, he wants it. He wants it. He punches on a little fumble. Hey, get a helmet for him. Look at number 12. He made that happen, and that's why the Dukies have a 2-on-1, and Capel goes to the foul line. All because of number 12. We ought to interview him. That's the guy we ought to interview. He ought to be our star of stars. Wojciechowski. I'm going to set right now. I'm going to set up. Wojo. We got a call for Wojo.
Digger, Gary, stand by in the studio, please. Wojo's on his way over. 59.8
We'll ship him up to Bristol. We'll ship him to Bristol.
Capel.
We'll get him on a highway to Bristol.
With a couple of huge free throws to make it.
And we'll get a helicopter. We'll get a helicopter. There he is right there. Look at Wojo playing defense against Thompson.
He spent the boss's money really well.
Now look at Seals trying to post inside. See, that's another part of his game.
They better hurry. Bennett for three. Against the roll.
Bennett making some big shots.
5-point ball game. Timeout Tulsa. 42.8 remaining. 12 points for Zach Bennett tonight off the bench.
I'll tell you, they're not as darn good. Representing quit right now in this club, the Tulsa kids.
We'll find out once again how Duke handles that pressure when we come back to the Garden.
What the hell?
Lead is down to only 5 now for Duke. Joel Myers, Dick Vitale back at the Garden. And don't forget, we'll head back to the studio, rejoin Gary Miller and Digger Phelps. And then come back to the second semifinal tonight. And it is, if you're from the Hoosier State, it is a dream come true. The Aces and the Hoosiers, Evansville, matching up with Indiana. Only the 4th time they've ever gotten together. In fact, there was such a long break from 1935, the first time they met, until 2 years ago. Incredible it took that long.
What a great tradition up there. Aaron McCutcheon, the former coach, a Hall of Famer, led him to 5 college championships.
2:20 left for Tulsa. Duke still with a full timeout. The possession arrow belonging to Tulsa.
Duke has really had a tough time attacking this full court trap. They should with all the ball handlers they have. They bring Price in the game right now, get some experience. He gets fouled. So he gets down to making free throws here. as usual, at the end of the game, special situations. Teams that convert these free throws usually go home with the W. Teams that don't go home with an L. There's Steve Robinson still coaching Bennett, who really has played well. 12 big points.
Price has been shut out tonight. Hasn't had an opportunity at the stripe. Now the junior from Carson, California, in crunch time going to the line.
Well, you know, really has sat on the Pine. He's been an assistant coach there. It's been Pine City for Price. A lot of coaches, I'll tell you, a lot of kids, they don't like that. They don't want to be Pine City, USA. They want playing time. Give me some PT. They'll get a lot of playing time this year. Look at him show. He said, please don't show that zero. Don't show that zero on me. I'm too good to show that zero.
Needs to hit at least one to make it a 6-point lead.
As you said, that's 2 possessions. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to figure that out. See, if you're right now, Duke, you want to stop them from running the ball up the court. They're going to try to run up that ball up the court quickly. Comes up empty.
Both are off. Ruffin with the rebound. Here comes Tulsa. The opportunity is there.
You don't have to get the quick 3. You get the first open shot. If you get a deuce, you take advantage of it. You don't have to force a 3.
Thompson for 3. Yes!
He gets the 3, gets the timeout. 20-second timeout. See, the reason you didn't need the 3, but he ended up getting one and it counted and he made it happen. But if you get the quick deuce, you're still 1 possession away.
69-67. Tulsa won't go away.
See, right now we're going to watch the reversal. See, they're a little confused right now with the line. Reverse back out. I think the kids are confused as you see him knock down the 3 again. He shot the NBA 3 has got them confused. We've seen that quite a bit. Hey, hold off Wojo. Hold off Wojo. Don't get the helicopter yet for him to be a star. We might reverse that and give it to somebody from Tulsa.
You had the lights up already.
Wow, we got the lights up. We're ready to interview him, make him a star. But Robinson says, wait a minute, says Coach Robinson. We may have the star of stars.
He's got some great defenders.
Well, they really get after you. Look at the face guard now. They're face guarding.
The baseball home run pass was there.
Come back again to that free throw line. We talked about it. You brick City on that line. You brick that line, you put your club in trouble. Well, Price went to the line the last time, came up 0 for 2, and it hurt them because they came back and got 3.
Price last year, 71% at the free throw line.
So that's really like a 5-point swing right there, Joel. If he converts the 2, rather than coming up getting the 3, I mean, you're looking at a 5-point turnaround. And all the coach can do is get you to the line, and that's what Mike has done, and now it's up to him to convert them.
He had been 4 or 5. At the free throw line over the first 2 games. 0 for 2 tonight.
Well, you know what? He's been sitting so long, and when you sit that length of time, I mean, that's like the art of pinch hitting. You sit in that dugout, and all of a sudden you got to come out and swing that lumber.
3 in a row he's missed.
There's a little concern right here. They don't want to go to the consolation bracket. They know 1 trip down the floor. A guy knocks down the 3. If he misses this, you're in trouble.
Tulsa's been dynamite from 3-point land. 7 of 16. Price with a big one to make it a 3-point lead.
Well, right now, they got to think 3.
Timeout called by Thompson. Got it across the timeline. We'll stay right here. Tulsa has many problems as they have had at the free throw line tonight, Dick. Believe it or not, they're 7 of 16 beyond the arc.
Well, they got some people that can shoot the 3, and they really have an excellent team defensively. And their defensive effort has kept them in a game here. They've really made some solid plays. They react well to Steve Robinson's calls. They react well to his coaching techniques, and those are all positives. They're going to have a very good year this year in the WAC. They're in a division out there with a tough Utah team.
And New Mexico.
And Rick Majerus is tough. New Mexico, certainly a top 20 team with a power player, Kenny Thomas. But right now, we look at the situation with the clock right here. You got to think 3. I really believe that. Some people will say, well, get the quick deuce if you can get a deuce, and then you foul and you get another opportunity. But I think right now, if you got that quick, good look for the 3, you got to take advantage of the 3-point shot.
The 3-point threat from the floor.
Gendron can shoot it, too. Gendron can shoot it.
Seals, as well as Thompson, who just got the last one. Ruffin trying to make sure he didn't throw it away.
I think Gendron's the guy that I would get the look for. They're going to try to lock up on Seals, and I would go to Gendron. Duke really playing well on a perimeter.
Thompson blocked by Newton. He went for a deuce.
Went for the deuce with like 3 seconds to go. If you're going to get the deuce, you got to get the deuce quickly. You got to get the deuce quickly, and then the timeout, then the foul. But right there, really trouble, really trouble. Not the kind of execution you'd like at the end of that game. And Steve knows it. Certainly got to be really happy with the effort of his kids, but disappointed they didn't get the shot they wanted in that possession. See right now, the clock winding down. He gets himself caught in traffic, takes it up, hoping to get fouled on the play. Maybe converting to foul, get the old-fashioned three.
That'll do it. Newton a perfect 4 for 4 at the stripe tonight. What a difference. First half only 4 points. Second half, he's got a dozen now.
Yeah, he really played well in the spurt, but Gendron was really drifting to the foul line. If they would have kicked it out, Gendron would have made 14 out of 30 last year, might have knocked it down. They were locking up. We've got to credit Duke with their perimeter defense on the three-point shooters in that possession.
So Thompson now with the 3 at the buzzer.
Great effort, though, by Tulsa, but Duke finds a way to get the W. Moving on to the final, Joel, but I'll tell you one thing. Tulsa's going to have a solid year in that WAC.
Except for their first loss of the season, Duke now 3-0 and on the way to the championship game.
I'm just not into that. I'm into puppets, as you know. And in New York, they had a slew of them today. Take a look at this videotape. We had great, great pictures of the puppet gathering in New York City today. All kinds of puppets. When Jim Henson died, he dreamed of creating a forum in which innovative puppet troupes from around the world would come to New York for a festival of puppet theater, and his daughter Cheryl made sure that happened. She made sure the dream became a reality, and for the third time, New York now is hosting the International Festival of Puppet Theater. Isn't this something? It's an international gig. Shadow puppets from France, hand puppets from Mexico, classical marionettes singing opera, just a few. 400 puppet troupes from 10 countries are in New York involved in this classic get-together. I think that's wonderful. What a wonderful legacy that Jim Henson left us. Isn't that great? Short break. We'll be back and get to the phone right after this.
Have to do is turn it on. The Gordon Elliott Show.
Setting the standard for customer service to nearly 500,000 fellow Oklahomans, the dedicated employees of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma. Their commitment to accuracy and quick response, plus a genuine attitude of caring, makes them quality beacons. First-class service. It's not just a motto, it's a promise that they deliver.
And the reason Oklahoma works so well is you.
Rent to own where you make the choice. At Customer's Choice, choose from our huge selection of stereos, from compact shelf tops to powerful 110-watt stereos with multi-disc CD players. Choose the one that's right for you, with prices starting at only $11.99 a week. Choose the payment schedule you need. There's no credit check and free service while you rent to own.
I like having a choice.
Customer's Choice, now serving customers in Claremore, Catoosa, Tahlequah, Wagner, and Wilburton.
If you think Garvey's handles only lighting, then you don't know Garvey's. Great selection, affordable prices at Garvey's. We'll light up your life many different ways.
Take a look, ladies and gentlemen. That's my godson. That's Logan. Logan Walker. That's right. Ike and Roxanne's baby boy. Look at him grin. He knows he's on camera. Sam Cam in there getting my godson on camera. Isn't that great? Isn't that terrific? We saw him for the first time in an ultrasound, remember?
That's right.
Still have the picture.
That's right.
Now we got this picture. We got the real thing. Oh, why am I putting this off?
Because you haven't had any sleep last night.
That may be the truth. Is that door open? Ah. Yeah, because you don't want to think it profane or something. I'm teasing. They don't do that in there. You're on. Can I help you? Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm in pretty good shape.
I'm glad to hear that. Boy, that's a good-looking godson.
Isn't that something? Isn't he a good-looking kid?
This is Alan Thicke. If you had all the money in the world and a 3-day weekend, where would you go? If daring adventure is what you're after, then join me for Travel Quest, Wednesdays this fall, only on A&E.
There are a lot of smart reasons to apply for the American Express card. Just call us at 1-800-THE-CARD.
And then a canceled flight won't leave you stranded.
I can't believe they canceled our flight.
It'll be fine. This is a great day. It's a beautiful drive.
Because unlike a bank card, the American Express card has no preset spending limit.
You can apply right over the phone.
With the American Express card, you're in control. You pay your bill in full. There's no revolving debt, no outrageous interest. You stay out of that trap.
So call 1-800-THE-CARD. You can apply right over the phone.
I still don't know where I lost that wallet. My whole life was in it. Pictures, license.
So we're on bread and water?
No. New card.
If you ever lose the card or it's stolen, you can get a replacement in 24 hours.
Don't delay. Call 1-800-THE-CARD and apply now.
He's on the scent again.
Your case is most interesting.
This infernal problem is consuming me.
It's a bizarre mystery.
Remarkable.
With a trail of petrified corpses and secret symbols.
What in God's name does it mean?
It means murder.
Pointing to an assassin.
With a wooden leg.
A tale of treasure that leads Holmes to a desperate showdown.
Yeah.
The Sign of 4, a 2-hour Sherlock Holmes special. Tonight on A&E.
It began with all the trappings of a Sunday afternoon sporting event. But when the smoke cleared from Bull Run, it revealed the first casualties of America's bloodiest war. 130 years after it began, the Civil War has lost none of its power to move us. I'm Jim McPherson, and I'd like to send you this compelling history, the Civil War Chronicles, as a free gift for trying American Heritage magazine. American Heritage is history with all the impact of this morning's paper. American Heritage is first-hand history. It's personal history of the underrated Americans who made a difference, and of the famous, who may have made less of a difference than you think. What should we tell our children about Vietnam? American Heritage had 52 answers. American Heritage is as diverse as the American experience. And right now I invite you to try it without obligation.
Call this toll-free number now and receive 10 issues of American Heritage for 3 monthly installments of $9.97. If you're not completely satisfied with your first issue, simply write cancel on your bill and owe nothing. Or keep American Heritage coming and receive the Civil War Chronicles free.
This program is brought to you in part by Mercedes-Benz, builder of fine automobiles since 1886.
A&E presents a Sherlock Holmes special.
You couldn't have come at a better time.
Starring Jeremy Brett as the master of whodunits.
Exactly.
In one of your favorite cases, from the pen of Arthur Conan Doyle.
Absurdly simple.
Celebrate Sherlock Holmes Week.
Ha!
Next on A&E.